Сайн байцгаана уу хүн төлөвчтэй. Өнөөдөр манай дефакто нэвтрүүлгийн зочноор Италийн алдартай хөгжмийн удирдаач ноён Якобо Сипари Пeскассероли.
Якобо Сипари ди Пeскассэрoли Италийн сонгодог хөгжмийн удирдаач. Тэрээр Итали Монгол улс хоорондын соёл урлаг, сонгодог хөгжим болон дуурийн урлагийг дэмжих зорилгоор улаан хевсний баярын Барокко, Итали болон Европ арга хэмжээ Россинигийн үнсгэлжин дуурийг Монголд анхудаа зохион байгуулахдагт нь удирдаачаар ажиллаж байсан юм. Ноён Якобо анх 16 настайдаа тоглолтонд удирдаачаар ажиллаж байсан ба одоогоор 400 гаруй тоглолтонд хөгжмийн удирдаачаар ажилласан Италийн алдартай залуу удирдаачдын нэг юм. Тэрээр 22 настайдаа хуульчийн мэргэжлийг мөн эзэмшсэн ба хэдийнэ докторийн зэрэгээ хамгаалаад байгаа юм.
Good evening. Good evening, Mr.
Good evening.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. Thank you very much for coming to this show. Very pleased to have you here in Mongolia. Please tell us what brought you to Mongolia.
Well, thank you so much to invite me here in this amazing show. And I'm really honored because this is my first time here in Mongolia. And I have to confess you that I was so surprised to leave this incredible emotion when I arrived here with my flight. Because you know that in Italy, the idea of Mongolia is linked to the legend, to the history of the great Genghis Khan, for example. So we lived in this particular kind of mind condition, you know. When I arrived here, I was so surprised to see an amazing country, an amazing landscape, a countryside, and especially people are so sweet and so interesting. So I consider this a very big honor to be here and to can express my heart, that is music, that I think that is the best way to communicate our heart, you know. And I think that this could be really important this period.
Music is.
Yes, music is.
And you are making the music, directing so many musicians. And how come you are by education also a lawyer? First your education is lawyer, and then how come that you become not only conductor, but good conductor and one of the best conductors? Please tell us what happened to this transformation.
Well, this is a funny story, you know, because when I was a child, maybe the first memory that I had of my childhood was a piano, you know, a piano of my grandmother in Italy. And I remember that the first thing that I did when I saw this piano was just starting to touch this piano as the most important thing in this moment in the room, in this house. And this is my first memory. So music is maybe, characterize all of my life. But I mean, I decided just to increase, of course, my education, my life with music and with law too, because you know, in Italy, the law is a bit important in our education, and so I think that could be important for my music education too. So I decided to be at first a musician and so lawyer too. I studied in Italy, so I moved in London, in LA, and this experience were very important for me because I believe that to be great in your job, you have to travel a lot, you have to absorb, especially from people coming from all over the world, their experience in all kind of words, you know. And I think that all my experience in the law world were very important for my music education too. Mm-hmm. So now it's a bit complicated to describe me because people usually used to say, but you are a lawyer or you are a musician.
Not only law, but criminal law.
Yes, a criminal law.
It's very hard to imagine that.
Yes.
You as a conductor and being this, and you met degree in which university?
Yeah, in Rome, University of Rome, and after I took my first second degree, of course, in criminal law and also in canonic law, because I'm working for the Vatican as in a very ancient tribunal, the name of which is Tribunale della Rota Romana, that is the tribunal of the Pope in Italy.
Wow.
And this is a particular kind of tribunal that is linked to the wedding situation, you know, when you have a cause linked to wedding, it's something like this. And this is the other side of my law life.
And you have been doing that in London, LA?
Yeah, in London, especially in criminal law in London, you know, because this wedding planet of my life, it's more linked to Rome.
Okay.
So now I'm working in Rome 3 University. That is a very important university in Rome, where I'm working as assistant professor for criminal law.
Wow.
And in Vatican as a lawyer, in difensore del vincolo is the correct term in Italy, but I can translate it in
your life
English.
is in between Rome, Vatican,
Yes.
and all over the world.
Absolutely,
Theaters.
absolutely,
So
yes. But I would like to underline that my very best passion is music.
So your heart is there. Okay.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Did you have formal education in music?
Yeah.
And when you have started?
Well, I started when I was very, very, very young, maybe 6 or 7, something like this, in the city of my family, that is the city of L'Aquila, that is a small city very close to Rome. I started there because you can understand that in that period, of course, I lived with my family, and you can understand that for my family it was like natural to introduce me in music, because they thought that music could be very important for my education, but you know that in that period they didn't think that I will choose after music as the most important thing of my life.
And your parents are musicians or lawyers?
Well, my mother is a lawyer, and my father is not a musician, but he loves so much music.
Okay.
So in all my childhood, I really felt this idea of music as one of the most important points of our family and our life.
So all you play piano?
What, pardon?
All of you play the
Yeah,
piano?
absolutely, yes.
And you have at home piano?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. And I'm very linked to this piano, especially to my first piano, that is the piano of my grandmother, you know.
Wow, I see. So
Yes, the
generations
famous piano of my grandmother.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the make of the piano?
Well, I can tell this. Yes, it's a Steinway. Yes, okay.
Expensive piano.
Yes.
And it's still from grandfather Steinway works now?
Yeah. You know, I think that to be a great musician, you should study piano, because piano, it's like a little orchestra, you know. And thanks to piano, you can understand the different kind of voices and maybe the different kind of instruments that you can have after in the orchestra. So studying piano, I think, could be the first step to become maybe, I hope, a great conductor. And I have to tell you that I was so lucky, because when I was very child, I had a very incredible teacher for piano. She's coming from Argentina.
Okay.
Argentina, yeah?
Yes.
And you can imagine, she was really incredible, because she was really, you know, rich of passion, rich of sensibility, and she tried to transmit to me this big passion, not for Chopin or for Bach, but for the importance of music. Because I think that music is really, I think, the most important way to communicate our feelings. And I think that if you are a good musician, you can be a good man in the life. And this is not, you know, it's just a fake phrase, you know, for a TV show, for example, but it's true. Because I have the honor to meet a lot of people, musicians, and I underline and I understand that if you are a very good musician, you are a really good man.
And it is so. You have been working thousands of musicians.
Yeah.
And you haven't met good musicians, but bad men. No, you have not met.
Well, it's difficult. You know, it's difficult.
So let's. So you had a formal education on the piano from
Yeah.
a home teacher, In any conservatory?
Yeah, in Conservatory of L'Aquila.
Uh-huh.
I started as pianist, but I studied there after piano composition too. Because to be a conductor in Italy, you have to study composition, of course.
You have a certificate.
Yeah,
First.
in experimental composition.
Musician, composition. Then,
Yeah.
Then the conductor.
Then finally conducting, and I have to be graceful to Maestro Alberto Veronesi. He's a very famous Italian conductor. He's the president of Puccini Festival. He's a very, very famous conductor in Italy. And he, well, now I can say long time ago, well, but now I can say long time ago. He just, saw me and he started to speak with me and he told me, oh, maybe I think that you have something interesting in your hands, in your way to understand music. But I was very, very child, not so. And he brought me in this Puccini festival where I studied a lot and I understand the Puccini music. That is the most difficult music, La Bohème, Turandot, Tosca, the most important opera. Madame Butterfly, yeah, this is my favorite opera, of course. And he decided to appoint me as the principal guest conductor there, but I was so young, so...
How old were you?
I was like 27, 28, something like this. And you can imagine, it was my first really official, appointment in a very important theater. The Puccini Foundation is maybe the most important international foundation linked to the opera, Italian opera. And you can imagine, it was so, it was so incredible for me. And my first opera that I conducted for Puccini Festival was La Bohème. And it was so incredible, because the first opera that I watched when I was a child was La Bohème.
I see.
So it's a sort of incredible circle of life, from the childhood to the maturity and maybe to the professional life. And so I'm very, very, very linked to Maestro Veronesi, linked to Puccini Festival, and every time when I travel, now I travel a lot, all over the world to conduct a lot of orchestras in the world, I try to bring with me all this teaching that I had in Puccini, especially in my conservatory in the small city of L'Aquila, and I try to bring with me all the thoughts and all the emotions of all the maestros that I had in my life.
And in the place where you are, first of all, Puccini is the best after Verdi opera.
Puccini, sir, it's very difficult to describe Giacomo Puccini. Because Giacomo Puccini was a sort of, he tried to bring in Italian music a big music revolution. Because he understood that people would like to watch the reality in the opera. So he brought all the real emotions of people, of Italian people in this show, La Bohème is just a story of ordinary people, maybe ordinary poor people, because Mimi, it was just a simple girl, and also Rodolfo and the other characters, they are ordinary men, ordinary girls, and this is so strange, because in Verdi you have Aida, Nabucco, that is very, yes, it was like the royal family or something like this. Problems of royal family, problems of legends. Here we have real things. Tosca, she's a singer, and Tosca tell us about the story of a love. And so it's, so strange for Italian opera and the music of Puccini. Oh, it's a triumph of emotions, of passions, of sensibility, If you ever seen a Puccini opera, you can understand maybe what is really Italian opera and what is really the music,
And you are conducting this famous Puccini festival.
Yeah.
Already many years.
Yeah, a lot of times.
And in between this, you travel all around the world conducting.
Yeah.
So, but you keep saying that this place where Puccini Festival is happening are particular emotional because...
Oh, yes. The first time that I came here, well...
The Puccini place.
The Puccini Festival is organized in a small city, Torre del Lago, that is a city close to Florence, very famous city of Italy, of course, and it's very interesting because the Puccini Foundation decided to, to organize this Puccini festival close to the most important house of Maestro Puccini, where Maestro Puccini obviously died. So you can imagine that we have there an incredible theater in the lake, that was built in the lake, with 5,000 seats, so very big, open, of course, and it's like very close to the house of Puccini. So you can imagine when I conducted for the 90th anniversary of Turandot, that is the most important opera of Puccini, I was crying, because while I was conducting, you can imagine the moon on the sky and the house of Maestro Puccini very close, and this very incredible orchestra, 110 members, and the choir, and the chorus, and the characters, the singers, and the emotions that was so incredible. And you can imagine when we arrived to Nessun Dorma part, that is maybe the most famous Italian aria, and in that moment I felt really maybe the happiness.
You were feeling connected with my
Yes, believe me, I have to confess you that before starting the conducting, I was just praying Maestro Puccini to forgive me for the conducting, in this temple of music. Because, I'm still young, but in that period I was like 28, 29, 27. I was really young. You can imagine that to conduct Puccini, yet the heart of this is not only the music, of course, but the conception. You have to understand what really Puccini would like to communicate to people. Because the most important thing for a conductor, I think, is to communicate something. Because people are there to listen to you. And you have to express not only the Puccini music, but your sensibility and your view of this Puccini opera.
That your expressions should be expressed by those musicians to people watching at your back.
Absolutely, yes.
Do you feel anything like on the back?
Well, my maestro told me that the conductors are very lucky. You know why? Because we are just putting the shoulder on the people there. So I didn't see all the thousands of people. I just see, the orchestra and the choir. But, the difficult thing is that for a musician, I don't know, a violinist or a pianist, he can just play and express himself, of course. But for a conductor, it's difficult because we have to transmit our emotions to people, to orchestras, and the orchestra has to give back this emotion to people. So it's very difficult.
So without that emotions, probably those emotions will not be exaggerated.
Yes, but believe me, in my life, there were just some times that I really felt an incredible connection between me, the orchestra, the singers, the people. Sometimes where you don't feel, I don't know, it's a complicated situation. It's like flying, It's like, you are like, oh my God, something like this. Because it's like just connection.
When you start the music or when in the middle of the music?
Well, it depends on the moment. Sometimes, I can confess to you this. I was conducting La Bohème with a very famous Italian singer, the name of which is Silvana Froli. And she's friends of mine, very close to me, and she's an incredible singer. And there was the third act of La Bohème. We were in Nicaragua to play this opera. And it was so incredible because in the third act, she started to sing this famous aria, Donde Lieta, very famous aria of La Bohème. And I just keep staring at her. And she was, keep staring at me. And she started to cry. And I started to cry too during the show because it was so incredible, it was an incredible connection. And this is Puccini. If I have to tell you what is Puccini for me, but I think what is Puccini for music, it's just an incredible man that I think started to put in music the voice of God, I don't know, or the voice of humanity, or the voice of mankind. Because if you really understand this music, if you really can feel this music, you can feel the humanity in your hands,
When you talk like this, my impression was that orchestra, the conductor, is not only living in the time of that play.
Yes.
Say, let's
It's
talk
correct.
about it, or,
It's correct, sir.
the butterfly, or
Yeah.
you were mentioning Trantad, which is somehow had connection with Mongolia.
Yeah, of
Yes,
course,
and,
yes.
have you been? I mean, this is Asia.
Yeah.
What is the kind of connections you saw?
Well, when I came here, I saw just the landscape, everything. And I felt like in a Puccini opera, because it was so, well, here I can breathe, a special emotions. It's difficult to express, but there is something special here. Really special. And I would like to communicate this to my friends in Italy. For example, yesterday I called some of my friends in Italy and I told them this. Mongolia is a really incredible country for this, because you don't need anything. You have just to breathe and to meet people and to speak with them and to understand the air that is here, and you can feel better.
Okay. Let me ask you a question about your connection with Mongolia,
Yeah.
Cinderella, and then Rossini,
Yeah.
Cinderella, and how come that Ayana? Oh, please tell us about how it
Yes.
happened.
Well, Ayana, I think, is a very incredible girl, I had the privilege to meet her, thanks a friend of us that is Maestro Franco Cerri, the baritone. He's a very, very famous baritone in Italy. And he introduced me Ayana, and I was just shocked when I met her, because she's special, She's an incredible singer, and she's an incredible girl. And she started to speak me about Mongolia and about her loves about Mongolia, people of Mongolia. And she expressed me her desire to bring in her country Cinderella opera. Cinderella opera of Rossini is completely different from Puccini, of course, but it's a very incredible opera, because Rossini was maybe one of the best Italian composer. And when he decided to write, to compose this Cinderella, he brought all his genius in this opera. And you will see this, because Cinderella is incredible. It's full of things, and it's funny, and it's deep in the same time. And she would like to bring this to Mongolia because she has a very incredible project. She really believes in this connection between culture, between Mongolian and Italy. And she told me, Jacopo, we have in Mongolia a lot of incredible singers. We have an incredible orchestra. And I really think that I have to bring all of this in Italy. And I have to bring the Italian opera in Mongolia and to start this connection, because only with this connection we can improve our love for music. And I was so shocked, and I thought that this speech was really incredible, And so I was so honored to be invited here. And when I came here and I started the rehearsals with the orchestra and with the singers, I was so surprised, because the most important thing that I saw in the eyes of these people is the really big and deep love for music.
Mm-hmm. You feel that?
Yes.
And that orchestra you are now working with for July 2nd Cinderella performance, how you guys are getting connected?
Yes, and this is another funny thing, because of course I cannot speak the Mongolia language, but I just speak English. And not only the professors of the orchestra can understand English, but they can understand perfectly my hands and my idea of music. And this is the point of this project.
So you are getting connected with Mongolian orchestra.
Yes, but this is the point of this project, sir. We cannot speak the same languages, but we can understand each other thanks to music.
And plus it is not only Mongolians, but also your friends from Italy, Spain, altogether.
Russian.
Kind of, music is connecting the world.
Absolutely, yes.
So in that connection, just as an ordinary citizen, global citizen, as I am, as anybody else, we are a bit concerned about what's happening all in the world, in particular between a religion or inside of the same religion. And from time to time, I think we should a little bit forgive each other. We should more love each other.
Wow.
And the instrumental in this regard, doesn't matter which nationality, black, white, but something that should connect us. I think that should be many tools, but I think first of all music. Would you agree?
Yes, I think yes. Well, sir, you told me about forgiveness. I think that forgiveness now, it's maybe the most difficult, thing that we can just give and we can receive. Because to forgive something, we have really to, at first I think, to understand the other one. And I think the best problem is that we are not able to understand each other. And thanks to maybe religion or culture or what you want. But maybe, yes, I agree with you when you were talking about music. I think that music is really universal, Thanks to music, we can feel the same emotion because we are part of the same mankind. So thanks to music, maybe we can live maybe for just 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, the timing of the concert, But in that moment, we are just one man, we are just one girl, we are just member of the same mankind. And I think if government in the world, improve these aspects of culture, music, like arts, or I don't know, but poets, maybe all together we can be happier. And I think as musicians, as artists, we have this very important, thing that we have to bring and responsibility, Yes. We have to communicate this.
That's why it is very interesting for me to hear you, who travel so much, who have been working with all over the world with incredibly talented musicians, to help them to express for dreams, for pieces. And somebody said, music is a bridge between your life and dream.
It's true.
In that dream should be all around the world more peaceful so that we have better life, right?
Absolutely, yes. Music is really the bridge between life and dream. And believe me, today in 2017, if we continue to believe in this amazing dream that is music, maybe, or we are completely crazy, or we just believe in a better world. And I think that thanks to music, we can really transform this bridge between live and dream in a sort of unity between dream and life. And I think that if we will really believe in this, we can really, really be happier and we can hope in a better world.
I hope and I believe your performance in Mongolia, your international team under your, it's called directorship, or
yeah.
And this music of wonderful Cinderella will help the world, at least in Mongolia at the beginning, making a better place to live. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your invitation.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you so much.
За хүн үзэгчдээ өнөөдөр манай дефакто нэвтрүүлгийн зочноор Италийн алдартай хөгжмийн удирдаач Якобо Сипари Пeскассэроли болцлоо. Их баярлалаа.